Welcome to Chucky Radio. Hello. Well, I'm back. It has been way too long since I did an episode of Chucky Radio. It's just been one of those things. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life over the last couple of years, and I keep meaning to do an episode, and I finally just said, you know what? I just got to do one. And I had a special guest in this week, and so it gave me the motivation to do another episode, because one of the things I love about living in Austin is having people come for the first time and getting to see it and getting to show them around, and that's when I get to experience Austin. So this past week, I had my cousin come in from Miami, and I'm going to bring Diego on the line.
Hello.
So, Diego, you are my second cousin, twice removed.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we figured this out the other day when we were hanging out, and I was pulling up the chart, like exactly how are we related, and your grandmother and my mother are cousins, and so your mother is a second cousin, or no, your grandmother's a second cousin to me, and then your mother's once removed and you're twice removed. So there you go. And here's the funny part. I always love the fact that in the Latin culture, we kind of call everybody who's even remotely related to us cousins.
Right.
Because, you know, it's like, I mean, we're all family, and we're all, you know, for us, our families are from South America, Colombia, Peru. I've got family all over. And so when you have family in areas where you visit frequently, my mom lives in Miami, so I see you, you know, every 6 months, every year we hang out. And so
Right.
You're like a cousin, you know?
Right.
So, you had the chance. First time. You'd never been to Austin before, right?
No, I've never been to Austin, never been to Texas, so first time for both.
First impression, you get in, I grab you at the airport.
It's less hot than Miami, so that was my first impression. It's not as hot as I thought it was going to be.
And the thing is like, I think heat-wise, like temperature-wise is probably comparable, but it's just that humidity makes such a huge difference, right?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't feel the humidity that I'm used to, so it just felt less hot, so I was happy.
There you go. And so, of course, as I mentioned, I love having visitors, first timers coming here. I want to show you the ropes. I want to take you everywhere. I want to do as much as possible. You were here for 1 week. Did we get a lot of stuff done in that week?
Oh no, we didn't do anything at all. We just stayed in your apartment the whole time, just playing Battleship.
Oh, yeah. We were just playing cards, Battleship, you know. Didn't do anything.
Yeah, little Sudoku here and there.
Now, the funny thing is, one thing you mentioned as towards the end of the week, and I always say this, it's like when you have a lot of things go on, so you create like a lot of memory markers, you look back and you go, holy cow, I've only been here a week. It feels like I've been here like a month, right?
Yeah, by the second day, I felt like I had already been there for a week. So it just started compounding after that.
So one of the first things I always do taking people around Austin is, of course, Austin's known for its party scene, for its bar scene. And, you know, what did you think? I mean, 6th Street, there's Dirty 6th, the East Side 6th, the Far West 6th, and then, of course, there's now Rainey Street. What's your impression so far?
It was interesting to see it all because, you know, I heard about Austin through Joe Rogan and through Kill Tony. So like I've heard different things, you know, about downtown Austin. So it was interesting to see it firsthand, you know, and the day is kind of chill, but at nighttime it definitely, especially in the weekend, gets a little crazy.
And it was actually really cool that we went by Joe Rogan's comedy place, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you ran into a guy on the sidewalk that you knew from that Kill Tony show.
Yep. So we were driving by, we stopped and we parked right by the mothership, took a couple pictures, and as we're about to leave, I ended up seeing Drew Nickens, who is a brand new regular. Maybe a couple weeks ago, he was made a regular for Kill Tony. He had been signing up for about 10 months. He lived out in Dallas and would drive to Austin every Monday to sign up for the show. And then he finally got picked 10 months later, and he did really well. And they ended up making him a regular. So I ran into him in the corner of the street. I said hello. He was holding his famous energy drink, and then he just walked away.
I mean, it was kind of fun to see you kind of spot like a semi-celebrity. Of course, I didn't know who the guy was, but you just like, hey, that's so and so, and then you just like went over
Yeah.
and talked to him, and you were like, whoa, he was like cool, you know?
Yeah, my first 5 minutes on 6th Street, I ran into somebody that I had seen on TV. So that was pretty cool. He looked exactly the same. And yeah, it was cool.
So a lot of bars, a lot of bar hopping going on. I mean, and then eventually, of course, one of my favorite spots, we end up going to Barton Springs. And,
Hmm.
you know, I kind of give you a little warning saying the water's going to be cool, but like, you know, don't worry about it. Just jump in and you'll be fine. You know, obviously just this beautiful spring-fed pool. How was that initially?
It was very refreshing. I do enjoy cold water, but natural cold water is very different than like a cold shower per se. But it was really cool. It was very refreshing. It was good to swim around and see everybody.
It woke your ass up, right? I mean, I could tell. Like when you first dove in, you yelled out a little bit. You're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, that initial shock is it's nice. It's like a quick little high. And then I started swimming, and I realized I was not in the best cardio shape when it came to swimming.
I definitely challenged your cardio system this week between swimming and hiking and freaking endless walking around. You
Yeah,
you felt
I
it.
mean, you told me we were just gonna play Battleship in your apartment and tricked me. I was tired
What can
and
I
I didn't
tell
want to
you?
do anything, and you just made me hike and swim and walk and scooter.
Oh yeah, we had to hit the electric scooters because a few times you get to the other end of downtown and you realize, oh shit, I got to walk all the way back, and it's like, we'll take a scooter. And now that they have all the bike lanes and scooter lanes around downtown, it feels a lot safer. So I felt decent about putting you on a scooter. Okay, so just to finish on Barton Springs, I mean, overall ambiance, you know, hanging out on the hill, enjoying the vibe. You liked it?
It was very chill. Like I said, I think the energy, it seemed like everybody, enjoys their time there. So there wasn't anything super crazy going on, no like bad vibes. Everyone was there just having a good time. So that was really nice.
So now the next day, and both that day that we met up to go to Barton Springs and the following day,
Hmm.
you took the train downtown. I'm working during the day. I
Hmm.
show you how to get on the train. You jump on the train. You just roam on your own for a few hours,
Right.
and then we meet up. I mean, the train, it was late one time, I think, on the second day, but
Hmm.
generally, it's a nice system, right?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty efficient. I got on the wrong way one day, so that was fun. I went
That's
north
right.
instead of south.
You went north instead of south, yeah. And then you got on the right train. Then you get
Hmm.
downtown. That was a day I think I told you, hey, go check out the Austin Library, go walk around, you know.
Yeah, that was the day I went the wrong way, and then I made it to downtown. I started walking. I I checked out the Four Seasons. Then I walked over to the library, which was really cool because the whole top is covered with solar panels, and I'm in the solar space. So I was on the terrace looking at the solar panels, and yeah, it was a really cool library.
Yeah. And then you made it around Lady Bird Lake. You took the trail, checking that out. And
Hmm.
then we met down off of Rainey. And it was so early that there wasn't really anything going on at Rainey. So we just ended up actually taking scooters back into downtown.
Hmm.
And eventually I took you to one of my favorite little speakeasies, the Firehouse Lounge.
Right.
Come in. It's actually a hostel, and you walk in the front of the hostel, and then there's like this bookcase that you slide open and go in, and that was a fun experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. It made me feel like I was in New York at some cool secret bar. So that was unexpected.
It was a chill night, but there were cool people in there, and we had fun.
Yep.
From there, we stopped by, said hi to my buddy Pat, who's playing guitar. He does his little act off of 6th Street. So he plays on Dirty 6th Street. So he was at San Jack's. And then from there, we ended up at Barbarella. Now, Barbarella,
Right.
that place has got an interesting vibe to it, huh?
Yeah, I think that night they were playing like 2000s music.
Yeah.
Um, so we were just having a good time.
Partying a little bit too much, as I recall. I wasn't drinking. I'm
Uh,
I'm on this little get lean program right now, so I wasn't drinking, but Diego made up for me. And he had a few.
it,
He got a little
yeah,
tipsy.
I was drinking for two people for sure.
You
And
were. The night of debauchery. Oh, Diego. I had to wrangle you in that night, but we survived. That was the important part.
yep, and my phone had died a while ago because I went out on the train at 3 o'clock, and I have an iPhone 10, so it pretty much died by 7 o'clock. So it was cool to just be, fully present in the moment, not checking my phone, having a good time, looking at different places, and just having fun.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good night. It was a fun night. I enjoyed watching you enjoy it. That was kind of my,
Yeah.
my vibe that night. Is I was just like, oh my God, Diego was just, you're getting into the music, you're getting into all the places we were going. So that was fun. So we get up on Friday. So that was Thursday.
Mhm.
And then we hit the Green Belt because, of course, part of Chucky's tour of Austin, I've got to take you out to Sculpture Falls.
Mhm.
What's your impression?
I'm not much of a hiker. I've done it before, but I really had a good time, especially at Sculpture Falls.
Yeah.
Again, you see a lot of other people. Everyone is enjoying themselves. Everyone is present. There's kids, there's dogs, there's nature, there's cold water again. So it definitely, I wasn't sure what to expect. The first, round of the hike, I was like, when are we going to get there? Is it going to be worth it? And it was definitely worth it.
You were getting close to bailing on me. I mean, I kind of had to give you a little extra encouragement because you were just like, oh man, my legs are hurting. I'm like,
It was, yeah. I mean, when you don't hike for a while, you're used to just walking on even ground. It takes a toll on you.
it was a challenge, but worthwhile challenge because, of course,
Oh, for
the
sure.
payoff of just getting a hang at Sculpture Falls, such a beautiful little, I mean, spring-fed waterfalls, pool area, all natural, just is so nice. I mean, it's definitely one of the gems of Austin. So
Yeah, it
I'm
was beautiful.
I'm glad you got to enjoy that. And let's see. We ended up that night kind of getting back from our hike, little decompress, get ready, go out on a Friday night. And it felt kind of weird that night, right? We were hitting Rainy Street.
It was uneventful for sure. We
Yeah.
we went one place, then we checked out another, and then the energy just wasn't there, so we just called it a night, and that was fine because
Yeah.
I was exhausted from the I, so I was thinking,
I mean, I attribute the off night, and actually, I think even Saturday night, we ended up not going out because
yeah.
it's summertime. You know, Austin's a big university town, so obviously no one's in for school. It's just summer classes going on. So it always
Hmm.
changes the vibe on, you know, 6th Street and Rainey and all that. And so I definitely felt that on Friday night. Like it was really young in some places. And then you could tell there was a
Yeah.
lot of like tourists and different people that
A lot of
would,
bachelorette parties.
yeah, a lot of bachelorettes coming in from out of town. And it was just, yeah, there was hordes of bachelorette parties. I think we must have seen minimum 10 plus bachelorette
We
parties
saw
that
like
night.
6 in one at Clive
At
in
one
Rainy.
bar,
Yeah, in
6
Clive's.
bachelorette parties. That was
Yeah,
insane.
it was crazy.
So, yeah, the summer kind of nightlife vibe is a little different in Austin than what you would find in the spring or fall. So, yeah, when you come back, I definitely recommend you come back spring or fall to really get the feel for
Hmm.
what the nightlife is. But then you did get the opportunity Saturday night. You discovered this place that someone recommended to you that I didn't
Hmm.
even know about, brand new venue, and they had DJ
Hmm.
playing, and you ended up going out to that, and it was such a late. I think what was it from 12 to 3 a.m. Your DJ was playing, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll drop you off out there, and you can Uber back. And you ended up
yeah,
having a good time, right?
yeah. It was a concourse project out by the airport. I'm very much into the EDM scene over really any other music genre. So I was asking around, where can I, catch some good EDM music? And they told me about this place. I looked it up, and one of the DJs that I really enjoyed listening to was performing that night. So I bought my tickets and I just went solo, which sometimes is really fun to
Yeah.
just go out by yourself and listen to music. And there was definitely a lot of younger people at the event, but I was there for the music. So I was just having a good time, just dancing by myself pretty much.
Yeah. I could see you doing that. I could see you just, enjoying the music, a DJ that you
Hmm.
had known but you've never seen in person, right?
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Sunday, just kind of going through the trip now. We ended up kind of a chill day, but then that afternoon we ended up going to one of my favorite interactive museum here in Austin called Wonder Spaces. What'd you think about Wonder Spaces?
It was really cool. Each, piece of artwork or interactive, scene it was so cool to see and interact with, and again, not be on the phone, just be present, enjoy the art, interact with it. I really liked the one where people write different messages, and you get to pick it up and you get to see
Yeah.
other people's messages, and then you get to write your own message and put it back for someone else to read it, in the future. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a really popular one. That one actually has been there since the very beginning. They've never taken that one out because they rotate a lot of the exhibits and take some out and put in new ones, etc. And that one has always been there. And I think I even saw it once, like at South by Southwest. And that exhibit's called The Last Word.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of an opportunity for you to just write something that you left unsaid, something you wanted to tell somebody that you didn't get a chance to
Hmm.
tell them. And so, yeah, it's really fascinating to pull the one, this is all anonymous because you write it, you don't, unless you want to put your name on it, you don't. And so you get to read other people's last words, and it's interesting. There's some really good ones, there's some that are just silly, and then it's kind of fun that you get to contribute to it. So,
Yeah, it's a cool concept for sure, especially
yeah.
if you're passing on a good message, because you never know what people are going through. So you may pick it up and it may be, directly affecting how you feel, or like you said, it may just be something silly that, is just ridiculous.
Yeah. And then, of course, there is the sewing machine orchestra, which is really
Yep,
cool.
that was cool.
You've got the lights, the string of lights hanging from the ceiling that start
Hmm.
flashing in all these different sequences. The projector that you walk in front and you splash color on the wall. I mean, I've always loved that exhibit. That space, I should say, and enjoy seeing all those exhibits. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Always a fun time there. Always a good experience. And so we ended up kind of wrapping up the week, going to one of my favorite spots to go hit this beautiful river, spring-fed river. As you notice, the theme in this area is everything is spring-fed. The water is always so nice and clear and nice and cool too on hot summer days. And so we ended up at San Marcos and went paddleboarding up the San Marcos River through the center of town. And what'd you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely took me out of my comfort zone this trip. I'm not normally one to hike or to paddleboard just because I get kind of lazy. Uh, but it was definitely worth it. I didn't really know what to expect. The way up the river was a little challenging, especially after everything that my body had already been through for the last week. But the way down was really nice because you just got to kind of chill, and the river it just kind of took you down on its own. So
Yeah.
it was nice.
And you get up to the headwaters and you get up to that really cool where the waterfall coming off of the pool that all the springs basically feed into. And so it's kind of a nice reward at the end of this upstream journey that you go on. And there were some spots. I mean, I have to admit, since you didn't really paddleboard a lot, I was impressed. Like the water gets moving pretty quick, and you got to be a pretty efficient paddler to make it up some of these spots. And you were a champ, and you did it. So it was fun experience for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's always life lessons in there, especially like with the hiking and the paddle boarding, like you said, like it's challenging, but at the end of the challenge, it becomes worth it with where you get to, and then you feel very proud of yourself for the hiking or the paddle boarding, and then you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor and enjoy the way back. And everyone, again, just like Barton Springs, just like Sculpture Falls, even in downtown, everyone's energy is very friendly. Everyone says hi. You spark up random conversations. Everyone's laughing, just having a good time, good energy. So it's kind of hard to be in complainer mode while everyone is having a good time.
Exactly. Now, that is definitely something that I think a lot of people enjoy about coming to Texas is this friendly attitude, this kind of more open attitude to engage with strangers. It
Hmm.
definitely makes you feel a little bit more welcome and like you're kind of more enjoying the sense of this community. So,
Yeah.
and then after a day of paddleboarding, oh, we forgot one thing. Before we went paddleboarding, I said, "This is your chance. Let's get a good meal in." And you wanted to try some Texas barbecue.
Yes.
Took you to the famous Terry Black's barbecue. You got a meal there, huh?
Terry Blacks, can't forget it.
Great brisket. You, my friend, loaded up on the ribs. I was like, yeah, he's gonna have trouble finishing those ribs.
It's hard to tell when they try to serve it. You don't know how much it weighs. You don't know how hungry you are. So she cut one.
Yeah.
I was like, eh. She's like, two. I was like, ah. She's like, I'll give you four. I was like, okay. But definitely went a little overboard with the ribs. But
Yeah, it
they
made for
they were
good
all
leftovers.
finished that day. So
Yeah.
it was fine. The mac and cheese, really good.
Yep.
The brisket was really good. The barbecue sauce was amazing. And I topped it off with a nice classic glass Coke.
There you go. Good old straight up Coca-Cola. And then it was your last evening. It was just going to be a chill night.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to show you Mueller, which is an area that we didn't get a chance to really go and experience. So I just said, hey, let's just pop over there so we can walk around for a minute. You get a chance to see Mueller and that community, which is an area I've been looking at, moving to.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And then as a final hurrah, we had one last get together over at Lala's.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and that wrapped up our trip. You got to see the bar that never takes down Christmas decorations, celebrates Christmas 365 days a year.
Yeah,
And I got to kick your butt in pool.
you did. I'm not gonna make excuses, but yeah, I kind of let you win because I'm not gonna beat you.
Oh
at
my
your,
God.
at your
You're going
own
to
game
let
at
me
your own
win.
bar on the last night, so I had to let you get that one.
Okay. I hear repeat challenge here. All right, buddy. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed Austin. We got a chance to, reminisce on this past week that felt like a month.
It felt like a month, for real.
We did so much. And now you're back in Miami. You're chilling, getting ready to get back into work mode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the same, and I will be seeing you the next time I pop into Miami, which is going to be in September.
For sure, I'm looking to, forward to having you here and then to going back at some point to Austin at a different time to check out, same places, different time. Should be interesting.
Exactly. All right, cuz, you have yourself a good evening. It was great having you on Chucky Radio podcast.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Chucky Radio. I hope you enjoyed it. Our theme music is by our friend Guy Porter. Until next time, this is Chucky. Peace out.